next match with our nice little, what appears to be a mono green deck. It is not a mono green deck, it is a hidden stockpile deck. Apparently the stockpiles will remain hidden. So yeah, I think this is a mulligan because this hand just does nothing. And there we go. Unbridled Growth, Hidden Stockpile combo. Aerial Responder would obviously be great if we could cast it. But since we can't, we're just gonna bottom it. Since we don't mind drawing lands to get to Lifecrafter Cavalry anyways. And another double stock game. Good stock. Good. Another red-white deck. So we're just playing stockpile. We need this white mana still. And our opponent will weld fast. So here we absolutely can't attack Unbridled Growth. So just gonna be glint sleeving since Hidden Stockpile does not actually do anything at the moment. And we're threatening to block Weld Fast here, which is pretty good. And leave behind a servo that we'll be able to sack later on. Although our opponent has Herald of the Fair, and now we're just gonna go ahead and trade. We only care about preserving our life total here because we have 2 hidden stockpiles and we're gonna win the long game. Alright, so still just adding to the board, getting rid of all our white cards as well before we sack this Unbridled Growth and get 2 Revolt triggers. And I'm happy to just take 3 here just because having a flying blocker is very important at this point. And this Herald is actually going to look very bad very soon to either this Lifecraft Cavalry or a bunch of servos. And our opponent does play a flyer. And we draw Inspiring Statuary, which has never looked worse at the moment. Pretty much the worst draw in our deck at this point. And I think I cited it out permanently after that. And I bottom Acrobatic Maneuver because we don't really have anything we want to blink. Like blinking this would normally, we would want it for triggering the revolts, but Hidden Stockpile just triggers its own revolt. So we'd rather just draw a different card, not blink, and not spend 3 mana. So here I attempt to do the trades, and the trades work, and our opponent plays the counter to Hidden Stockpile. Curses. Alright, so we add white, sack Unbridled Growth, and play Silkweaver Elite. I could have just played Lifecraft Cavalry as well. I don't know why I didn't. It seems like I should have. But mistakes were made. I think maybe I was thinking to keep up Hidden Stockpile, but there's no point in doing that. Yeah. Well, now we're getting beat down by this completely unblockable 3/1. So we'll play out a Cavalry using this Inspiring Statuary. Unfortunately couldn't trigger Revolt and Cavalry that turn. And this guy is actually killing us. So here we get to hit and then activate Stockpile. Handicraft is going to be great. so I put it on top. The only problem is it doesn't actually deal with Audacious Infiltrator. Like, we'll have 2/2 servos, but they still won't be able to block. So if our opponent can deal with this Lifecraft Cavalry, we'll actually be in a bit of trouble. And we're caught in the brights. So I shouldn't have scryed there if I was going to keep this durable handicraft, since I knew it was on top already. And I think I do still keep it, just because it is going to provide a huge board for us. It's kind of risky either way, because if we don't draw an answer to Audacious Infiltrator, we're going to die. But if we just sort of durdle with servos for too long, our opponent might be able to draw an answer. I probably should have just been willing to sacrifice my Lifecraft Cavalry and dig for a creature that could block this, but I go for the greedy handicraft play to make amazing servos with our hidden stockpile. I mean, this is a fairly fast clock. It's just not going to be faster than our Infiltrator, or our opponent's Infiltrator, if we do not draw a creature here soon. And Sailback isn't a big issue for us, but it is going to stymie our offensive. And there I think I should have actually dug a bit deeper. I'm thinking durable handicraft value. I don't want to sacrifice my servos, but I'm at too low to be doing that, so I should have sacked another servo to scry. That was a bit too greedy, I think. Although I do have a big board of servos now. And here I chump. Again, I'm thinking aggressively. I probably should have just killed off the sailback. Although chumping and scrying is okay, because I'm going to be scrying until I find an answer to Audacious Infiltrator this turn, anyways. And 2 lands are not enough. 3 lands is also not enough. Alright, so we did that end of turn. Now we're doing it on upkeep with our limited mana, and we finally find an actual answer just in time. And Inspiring Statuary actually did something, providing us an extra mana for durable handicraft. So if our opponent has nothing, we look to be in a great spot here. And they even just attack in. So we're able to eat the sailbacks thanks to durable handicraft, and eat the Infiltrator thanks to a non-artifact 7/7. And Revolution finishes off Cavalry. Fortunately, we draw Recruit. I mean, we scryed all our lands to the bottom, so makes sense. And we're getting low on ways to trigger Revolt. Our only way left is durable handicraft. Which we go ahead and I was thinking about doing it on upkeep, because I'm so conditioned to sacrificing hidden stockpiles on upkeep, but this doesn't actually scry, so I just draw my card, and then activate durable handicraft and smash for a bunch. 8 first strike damage seems good, and we have some blockers for the Crusher, Crushinator. So here our opponent can now crew the Crush. So this is actually trades with Crusher, which is not good. Do not want that to happen. And I mean, Skygate isn't really that appealing. It blocks flyers. Realistically, though, I just want to dig for a Rush of Vitality at this point. Since we've pretty much looked through our entire deck, we've got to be getting close to Rush of Vitality. Monstrous Onslaught, though, is another reasonable card. In this situation, it can't actually deal with the Crusher before it can trade with Solemn Recruit, but it can just take out the Spontaneous Artist and potentially set up for lethal next turn if our opponent doesn't draw something good. So I just decide to go for it. And some more servos. So our opponent would really like to top deck Shock here, and they don't, and we win. Alright. So next game, have a reasonable hand. Certainly not turn 2 hidden stockpile yet, but we could always get there. And there's the Rush of Vitality that we were searching for so desperately last game. And there's Audacious Infiltrator. The hard counter to our archetype, of course. Unfortunately, we're just drawing forests and plains. But we do have Glintsleeve Artisan to do a profitable trade here. So we're just going to trade and hopefully buy time to draw a non-forest. And our opponent is dropping gigantic giants, and we drew all plains and forests this game. Yep, literally all plains and forests, although to be fair, we're a 3-color deck, and that, I mean, if we could if these were white and green spells, it probably wouldn't change that much, but alright, and another plains. And don't know why oh right, my opponent is triggering Revolt, obviously, and testing to see if we wanted to take lethal damage, I suppose, or if we had some sort of way to block that. And drops the Aeronauts, and now we're just dead. And wow, literally drew all forests and plains that game. Not bad. Yeah, we dead. We super dead. Alright. The Decider, and we have perfect mana, and by perfect mana, I mean I can't cast this amazing card in my hand, but close enough. I also chose to draw to try and get that perfect mana, and my opponent mulliganed, which makes me dance with joy. So here we have the choice between Skygate and Ninth Bridge Patrol, and we just want to patrol in case we draw a plains, play our Solemn Recruit, and get it removaled. We want to take advantage of the +1/+1 counter there. Didn't matter though, and our opponent gets to swing in and kill our Skygate. And at this point, we're not too displeased with that our opponent isn't following that up with anything. Pretty good for us, because we're gonna get to Pioneer. So I should have attacked before casting my things. I mean, I'm happy. I would be happy trading this, but I'm more happy trading this. And opponent takes down our fancy little 1/1 dwarf. Taps our planes. Didn't need it anyways. Alright. But we are going to need a planes here soon. Cast our progressively more powerful dwarves before we die to a hasted 3/3 and right on time. So here I have the choice between Solemn Recruit and Aerial Responder. I think the Solemn Recruit at this point is bait, and it can block this, so we're going to lead on that. If it gets removal, fine. I would rather my Aerial Responder survive compared to the Solemn Recruit at this point. So we lead on the Solemn Recruit. And 3/3s are not going to match up against a double strike. And this Rush of Vitality is an excellent draw. It's going to pretty much make sure our opponent has a very difficult time winning this game, since even premium removal is probably not going to be enough. Since we have this board so locked up, we're mostly thinking of like, does our red-white aggro opponent have Fumigate? And hasted Eddy Trailhawk. Our opponent has a minor lapse of judgment here, perhaps forgetting that this has flying. Although, I mean, come on, look at that guy. Of course he flies. Attacking the 3/3 into our 3/4. If our opponent had have just attacked with that, we probably would have Rush of Vitality and blocked. Or I guess double blocked and Rush of Vitality. Wait, no, that doesn't work. Rush of Vitality and blocked there. But instead I'm just happy eating that 3/3. Instead I'm happy eating that 3/3. And our opponent is very dead. We even have hidden stockpile. And I just leave up Rush of Vitality to prevent any shenanigans rather than hidden stockpiling. And Aeronauts is going to buy time, but our opponent's really just out of cards and out of hope at this point. And just go in with the servo, even though our opponent gets to block. And Rush of Vitality. I mean, this plays into Fumigate. Probably not correct to Rush of Vitality there, but it is incredibly unlikely our opponent has it. And we win. Easy peasy. Alright, let's see what else we got.